Pleasant good night to all my viewers and my subscribers. This is Jah-P Sports Talk. Jamaica. Not doing well at the World Relays. Not doing well. So the World Relays kickstart this morning. And Jamaica had 6 teams. Or 6 events that they were scheduled to run in to progress to the semi-final. But unfortunately, only 2 out of those 6 events, Jamaica had progressed to. And that's very disappointing. Very disappointing. Last year we saw where we had to play catch up, and then this year is the same thing we have to be doing again, but more teams. More teams we have to be doing catch up now. Some of the teams, they might still be able to qualify based on times that they had run, whether today or previously. So, and they still have the next 2 months or so to try and run certain times to qualify for the World Championships. You understand? But on an overall note, seeing the Jamaica team not progressing to the semi-final, it is disappointing. Many other countries around the world is doing much better than Jamaica, and the question comes to ask, why Jamaica cannot deliver? What is it that the Jamaicans are doing why we cannot deliver? The men's team now, the baton exchange wasn't well. It seems like Ewan Blake moved off a little bit too early, and then he did not wait to really get the baton in his hand to really say, well, go. So the runner there seems to have to be slowing down in order to reach up to Ewan Blake, because Ewan Blake had a push off. Trust me. The way I feel disappointed, I didn't even watch all of the highlights. Believe me. I feel so disappointed just to hear the news alone. Just to hear the news, it's a big disappointment. So just to look at some of the results here. In the women's 4x1 relays, we saw where Belgium won that one in a season best 42.80. Great Britain 42.92. Australia 43.15. That's Heat 1. Let me see now, Heat 2. Spain won this one 42.18. Jamaica second 42.51. It's a season best time for the Jamaicans. So that is showing us that, well, it's good to run a season best, but we end up coming second. And Shelley and Fraser Price, Tia Clayton, and Sherika Jackson running this one. So imagine this is the Heats, and then we have to use all of our runners to get to the semi-final and to the final. I would say disappointed in some way. So E3, we saw where USA won 42.86. Canada came second. Then Netherlands third. So those were the events in those heats. So tomorrow will be the final and semi-final of these events. All of the relays, it's a relay event overall. So all of the relays will be tomorrow. Right? So we saw where the Jamaica teams came last in the women's 4x4. Quite disappointing in a time of 3 minutes and 40 seconds. We saw where South Africa won that in a national record, 3 minutes 28.01. Look at the big difference to where Jamaica finished. There were a lot of questions to be asked about the Jamaica teams. Why we perform so poorly? Why we perform so poorly? A lot of questions is on the table right now. In E2 we saw where Spain won that one. Then Italy came second, Great Britain third. In Heat 1, USA won that one. Then France came second, and Norway came third. You know, so those events were just on the table. You know, so in the mixed relays, we saw where Jamaica in the 4x4 they came sixth. You know, very disappointing again. I'm gonna check out now on the men's side now. So on the men's side, in the mixed relays, Jamaica came fourth, 3 minutes and 0.3 seconds, 0.53. China won the national record. South Africa won in a world leading time. Wow. So good news there for South Africa. So in the 4x1 relay, I think Jamaica running what? 8-2. You know, we did not qualify. We had the likes of Rowan Watson, Julian Ford, Ewan Blake, and Kishane Thompson. You know, South Africa won in a world leading time, 37.84. Great Britain, now Germany, 38.33, a season best time for them. Kenya also won in a national record, 38.35. So, you know, all other teams are doing well except for Jamaica at this point in time. You know, trust me. Very, very disappointed. You know, very disappointed in the Jamaicans at the moment. You know, one good note is that in the mixed relays, the Jamaicans won in a time of 41.04. You know, in the women's event. So we have to press hard for tomorrow to see what we can make out of this. You know, what we can make out of this for tomorrow. Very, very disappointed for the Jamaicans at this World Relays. You know, so we really look forward to see tomorrow morning the schedule and what Team Jamaica can make out of those two events that they are up for. Well, they are scheduled to run more than two events, but we're hoping for some good news tomorrow. You know, today was a big e-cup. I don't know if they need some water or they need some juice, but today is a big e-cup. Big e-cup. So we anticipate to see how things goes for tomorrow. Alright, I'm hearing that you can be able to watch it on Peacock for those persons in the US and somewhere else around the world. You know, BBC Sports and BBC website. You know, so we anticipate to see what Jamaica can do tomorrow. You know, they know that the hearts of Jamaicans have been broken. So we anticipate to see what they can do tomorrow. So let me all hear from you, my viewers. What do you think about Team Jamaica at this World Relays? Do you think the athletes can do better? Do you think the wet check had a lot to do with the Jamaicans not being able to qualify in most of the events? What do you think? Let me all hear from you in the comment section. So please, I'm asking you all to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Jah-P Sports Talk. Alright? I know we're still gonna support Team Jamaica, you know, still gonna support Team Jamaica all the way. You know, we may feel a little bit disappointed and so on, but you know, we're gonna love our team Jamaica at all times. So we just wish them all the best for tomorrow, hoping that we can win some medals, hopefully some season bests or some world leading. You know, we're not really looking for a world record at the moment, but if it comes, it comes. But we definitely want some season bests or, you know, need some good timings. So we anticipate to see how things will unfold tomorrow. You know, we anticipate to see how things will unfold tomorrow. So my viewers, I'm gonna cut this one off anytime now. So I just want to thank you all again for subscribing, like, share, and comment. And please remember to subscribe, like, and share. So, School of Jamaica TV, my chair just went down, my viewers. My chair just went down. Yes. Yeah, so all my viewers and subscribers out there, thank you so much and keep safe, and we hope for a better day tomorrow at the world release. Until next time, Jah-P Sports Talk.